New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, it was a shock to everyone, announced today her resignation.
As much as I have taken great joy in this job, I would be giving a disservice to this country and to the Labour Party if I continued knowing that I just don't have enough in the tank for another 4 years.
Enough in the tank. So is that the full story, or is she actually abandoning a sinking ship? Joining me now is the former Mayor of Queenstown, Mayor Jim Boult. Good to talk to you, Jim. Thanks for your time. I don't want to sound cynical, but I think Australians would be pretty surprised, wouldn't they, about how unpopular Jacinda has become in New Zealand?
Oh, look, she's had a pretty rough run for 6 years, Steve. Yeah, there's some folk who obviously don't like her. Personally, she hasn't done too bad a job in my book. You know, there's some things that her government brought upon themselves: child poverty, housing, law and order issues, but equally White Island, Christchurch massacre and COVID, pretty tough things to deal with. I'm not surprised she's calling it a day.
Yeah, she had a bad run. How did you assess, given you're in that magnificent place, Queenstown, where I was a couple of weeks ago, how did you assess her handling of COVID, given that she shut your nation down for a very long time and you lost all your tourists?
Yeah, look, we didn't think we needed to be closed down for as long as we were. Understood it in the first place. I think it went on too long. But if I had a personal criticism of the current government, it was not realising when we were going to see visitors coming back into the country and allowing the inflow of workers to come back in, because like a lot of parts in the world, we are desperately short of workers in the tourism industry.
Yes, as I said, I was there 2 weeks ago, and I mean, Queenstown's magnificent, but you could feel when you were out eating out that the service was probably not as good as it was pre-COVID. Do you think she was on track to lose in October? Is that what the polls were saying?
Oh, the polls are very much in favour of the Nats and ACT. So Labor would have a struggle. That's not to say they won't come back. I think the interesting thing now will be to see who replaces the Prime Minister. That's going to happen on Sunday, apparently. Hard act to follow, and, you know, big job to pull them from where they are now to get them back into Parliament.
What do you think's behind the decision by the Deputy Prime Minister, Grant Robertson, not to put himself forward for the job?
Again, I'm not surprised about that. You know, I know him quite well personally. He's a bright, intelligent bloke, but is he the person to lead the country? He's obviously decided he's not, and I respect him for that.
What did you think over the last couple of years of the media treatment of Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand itself? As you know, I appear on the Mike Hosking show on a regular basis. I know Mike's not a great fan of the Prime Minister. What do you think of the media treatment of her?
Look, I think this is a thing that worries me quite a lot, actually, Steve. You can disagree with somebody's politics, but you don't need to get into them personally. And I'm seeing that a lot these days, unnecessary. Interestingly, you raised the issue of popularity here at home. I've not long come back from a trip to the States. She has a lot more popularity over there than she perhaps does in our own country.
Yeah, she's very popular in Australia. Just on the question of the cost of living, I did notice when I was in New Zealand that the cost of eating out, cost of wine, the cost of petrol, certainly the cost of accommodation is very expensive. Are Kiwis getting sick of those cost of living measures and pressures like the rest of the world?
Oh, definitely, and that's probably what's counting against the current government. You know, when you pull into the gas station and it costs you over $200 to fill up your car, that hits you right in the pocket, and it's pretty centering. You know, Kiwi dollar is pretty low at the present time, so anybody travelling overseas is getting a hard time. Interest rates are going through the roof, cost of construction, cost of just buying everyday requirements at the supermarket is going through the roof. Yeah, it's a bit tough at present.
Gee, it costs plenty to fill your car up with petrol.
Oh, tell me about it. The first time I had to spend $200 on a credit card filling the car, it's shock and horror.
One thing you don't have to do to me is sell Queenstown. What a gorgeous part of the world that is.
Oh, Steve, look, today it is just magic. Not a cloud in the sky, hardly a breath of wind. Last time I looked outside, it was 32 degrees here at my house. It is wonderful. We've had a great spell of weather, and hey, you've been here, you know how special it is. In my view of the world, it's the best part of the whole world.
I think you're probably right. Jim, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Steve.
Jim Boult, the former Mayor of Queenstown, and it is a sensational place.